Well, yeah, I got this stuff covered up because, yeah, I'm going in a few. Wind's blowing, supposed to be thunderstorm. It's supposed to be raining a whole lot. That's why I wanted to get this grass. I didn't get some grass because I have not changed the oil out of my lawnmower, and I don't want it smoking because I don't want no drama. But like I said, I'll probably end up I don't want to call it breaking down, but I'll end up getting a lawnmower that you have to plug up and just using my long extension cords if I have to because I don't want this drama. But I got on here because I'm just thinking about, well, I just logged on and I saw that there's been shootings at high schools that done, as they say, erupted. Yeah, in the wake of all this stuff that's been going on, of course, the mass shooting. It's just been shooting after that. It's like almost like a domino effect type ordeal. And And I kind of just laugh to myself. Not that it's not funny, of course, when people getting hurt. Shoot, sometimes it might be when somebody been out here just being evil and stuff like that. But it's not funny for the loved ones just losing their people and stuff like that. But it's funny, I guess, because I know that God is in control and He knows what's going on, and people are carrying on with doing the regular, like, traditional things. Honestly, even like going to 12 years of school and then going to graduate and stuff like that because it's part of the system. That does not mean that it's part of God's kingdom. That doesn't mean that it's part of what God intended. That's something, that may be to keep people in bondage and to um, keep people in a certain type of system, worldly system. So, y'all carrying on because I heard the police officer say, this is something where we're happy and we want people to graduate and this, that, and third, and they're being successful. But it's not that graduation or schooling is, a bad thing, but is God approving of your personal life? Because some of y'all people that's sitting up there giving out diplomas and this, that, and the third, then did some evil stuff behind closed doors. And that's just on period. That's just period. Like, it's really what's been going on. So yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I'm just sitting here kind of laughing to myself. Like, now we're seeing it like every day, shootings. You know what I'm saying? Just and the way they described it, talking about erupting. Oh, okay. Well, it's like a volcano that's been waiting to erupt. That means y'all haven't been paying attention to what was going on beneath the surface. The volcano was warming up. Well, of course, we can't bother with a volcano really beneath the surface, but a volcano been heating up beneath the surface and then it's ready to erupt. But thinking about that, thinking back on when again, regarding my so-called grandma, not so-called, but my now deceased grandma, with certain stuff that she was doing and things like that, I had dreams about her being over in the vicinity of the folks across the street. Didn't know what that had to do with anything. I can go back and read them, but and just kind of wondering, like, cause I've been so up close and personal with her the whole time. I don't feel like she was hiding anything, cause I feel like my grandma, she showed herself in front of me, like she wasn't scared to or nothing like that. Now, but with other people, she would whisper and like gossip about them and stuff like that to me or whatever. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if she was hiding something or if it was something else, but just remembering that. And again, she was helpful to me and my kids as far as I knew. And I wouldn't dare if somebody would have told me. It depends on what you would tell me about my now deceased grandma. But if somebody would have told me, oh yeah, your grandma mean or she did this to us, I would have believed it more so than not because I knew how she was up close and personal just because she didn't do it to us. And that's not to say that she couldn't get tested with me and my kids, but I would have believed it. I wouldn't have, just because that's my relative. or I would have at least considered it, should I say. I don't want to go as far as to say believe it, but I would consider it because I'm like, honey, I know how she is. You probably want to be careful around her. Whether it was hurt feelings or shit, it's just the day that she chose to cut the food. And, again, I'm not talking down on her or anything. I know people don't like you talking about the dead and stuff like that. Um, but I had a personal relationship with her, and, you know, I experienced some things myself that just wasn't so pleasant or whatever. And that's not to say that people gotta always be pleasant, especially in this world where things have happened and taken place where, again, it tries to cause the domino effect. Oh, I think it's about to start right now. I'm about to go in. But that's just to say that, for the most part, you should not have too much of a reason to be mistreating people. And if you do, you should know how to discipline yourself well enough to just stay away from those people. If I do not gotta be around them, I don't want to. So thinking about that, then I'm thinking about how my daughter, um, the shooting. I was about to say mass shooting. There was a lot of oh, but the shooting that took place or whatever, where she was, and it was somebody getting shot that had the same name as her. The little girl, it was a young girl got shot, and I feel sad about that. I don't know who the girl's parent is or whatever, but I know she had the same name as my daughter. And I really do feel like maybe the bullet was more from the enemy, as far as from whoever shot the gun, they had a target. But as far as from the enemy, was it intended for, or did he think it's supposed to be intended for my child? Absolutely. But God. When she was up out of here, I just, prayed that God watch over her because I couldn't see her and stuff like that, and I couldn't really tell her. I couldn't really speak to her to reach her and say certain stuff. Because, yeah, and I remember myself wasn't really trying to hear what certain people were trying to say. But I look back now, it's a reason why I wasn't trying to hear what they had to say, too, now. And I'm not trying to excuse it again. But I'm just saying it was a reason why. Because evidently, it's whether people just was not repentant, but they trying to tell you something or something like that. I don't want to sit around and act like we can't tell each other anything. But I just want to say, maybe them people just wasn't repentant. That's why I couldn't receive it from them or whatever. I don't know. I don't know all the details regarding that. But when that happened and she told me, oh, Mom, there was a shooting that took place and the girl who got shot, she has the same name as me. I was upstairs, basically in a high, not basically, but in a high place. That they was downstairs. And I was like, well, where was your so-called daddy? Downstairs. And you know me, I'm already feeling like, the shit was probably definitely intended for you. But because you got my daughter over there in the vicinity, you feel like that's a covering. And that's another thing I was thinking about. Like, just because you turn on some gospel music or just because you're in the vicinity of somebody that is a believer, that does not mean that you can't still be a target. So, don't get it twisted. These trees over here are leaning, and I just noticed it. I'll pick it up in just a second, but it's about to start raining. And, yeah, that don't mean that you can't be targeted and hit. So, and I already feel like, yeah, he's trying to use my daughter as a covering. I don't know why God is allowing him to or whatever, or at least allowing her in the vicinity. Then I'll go to thinking about how, hey, the boy's so-called dad is the one who got her up out of here by making the call. Her so-called dad came and got her, and so now y'all are held accountable. Of course, if something happened to her, I don't want nothing to happen to her, but, and I'm smelling this smell that just reminds me of her so-called, of his so-called mom for whatever reason. She liked to cook or whatever, and her house would always smell like food. But that's what I feel like I'm smelling at the moment. I don't know. But thinking about that and thinking about just again the shootings that's taking place. People want to get bold now that this boy done went and killed 10 people. Um, Thinking about too how some people live by the gun. I was taught you live by the gun, you die by the gun. So even, and I'm just speaking in general, but even some security guards, like I've heard security guards getting killed at nightclubs and stuff like that. they got a gun, guns on them, and so you live it by that. And I don't know if they necessarily, if they used it or on somebody else before or whatever, but I don't know. It almost makes sense. You live by the gun, you die by the gun. And I be having these not dreams or any. Well, I've had dreams where people was pointing guns at me, but I don't possess a gun. I don't live by the gun or nothing like that. But like I said before, sometimes your mouth can be a weapon. Um, but yeah, I don't have a gun. I don't do all that or whatever. But I still be having feelings that somebody, wants to, try to hurt me with a weapon or something like that, with a gun or anything else or whatever. But anywho, I don't know. I'm just speaking a little bit on what's been going on and how you keep now every day hearing, oh, there's a mass shooting, there's a mass shooting, there's a mass shooting. Then I seen a white guy in the store just beating up on a black woman, like giving her the business, like he really just went in on her. And I'm like, what is that all about? Because again, people take it and run when they make it a racial issue and make that stand out and pop like it has with the mass shooting in Buffalo. That's when people do start trying to show some of their true colors and like, oh well, he done killed 10 black people. Look what I'm about to do. Go over here and pop a couple or bust a couple upside the head or whatever the case may be. It's just a crazy world we live in, and I understand it to be that. I'm yet and still thankful that God allowed us. God gave us a place to inhabit, and I know, He wants us to take care of it, and He mainly, most importantly, wants us to give Him the glory, and that way we can focus on Him, so that way we'll know how to even maintain and take care of it, because we really can't do it. He the one to make the sun rise. He the one to make the sun set. But people think they in control of it. So, like I'm saying, something that's as simple or as seemingly traditional as a graduation. Yes, I always think about stuff popping off in the grocery stores, at the malls, which just happened, and now, of course, the graduation. Just crowds where people are, where mass of people are gathered. Because honestly, this stuff would be about money. It's about the love of money, and that's what people be trying to do, make money. So, of course, that's where the root of evil is. You out here trying to profit off of people. To me, in an unhealthy type of way. Um, yeah, in an unhealthy type of way. The only one that game I'm gonna go in, but just for the sake of money, mammon, serving mammon, making money, whatever. God is not pleased with that. Other people struggling, going without, and things like that, all because you want to so-called profit and live a certain lifestyle and this and the third. But anyway, I'm going into too many details. I'm just out here enjoying the wind before these clouds, before the bottom drop. And I'm going on in, but it's peaceful. I'm chilling out. Ooh, excuse me. That pollen's still trying to get to me. Peaceful, chilling out, or grasses or whatever. Watching the trees sway, baby. I'm good. I wish I had somebody, that cared enough to sit here with me. Not just anybody. Not really a female, but you know, a male that cared and wanted to just sit and enjoy stuff like this until, like I said, the bottom dropped and we just couldn't take it no more. And we go right on in and continue minding our business, and we be all right with, what little we do. Well, I don't even consider it little. When God provides, I consider it more than little. But what we do have, be content and just go from there instead of looking over into something. I mean, you can observe other people, but instead of trying to peer over into other people's yard and stuff like that, or their lifestyle, to try to see what you're missing. Like I'm telling you, as soon as they seen I put cameras out on my house because y'all little so-called grandson trying to act up, you put him out at my house and he's not even down here. The main reason is to be recording him, but while y'all trying to watch me, you will be missing what they're doing right up under your nose, and that's just period. So, and that's just that. Um, my son's in the house. They didn't get in the pool today. They got a little disappointed. One of them got, well, they both been disappointed today because I had to just be adamant about some stuff. They'll be alright. Um, and so yeah, I'm just chilling out. This is how I'm living, you know. That's that. I'm playing my little game and I'm getting ready to go in.